I've showed you guys my results plenty of times here on this channel, but one last time, here are my results for 2023, up 286 units. But in this video, I'm going to show you guys real people's results and exactly how they are making thousands of dollars a month sports betting on apps like PrizePicks and Underdog. Those real people, including myself, are using two strategies to do this. Number one, known as plus EV betting, and number two, known as correlation betting. Now, I will explain those two strategies and exactly how people are doing it, but first, I want to show you guys real results from real people and not just you taking my word for it or my results. There are other people out here being super profitable sports betting on these apps like PrizePicks and Underdog, and I want to show you that you can too. All right, let's scroll some results from people that are implementing these two strategies that were tweeted at me. I asked people to tweet me their results from 2023, and this is what I got. Basically, when I started using Plus EV, you can see where that happened. Bada bing, bada boom, they shot up. Same thing here, started using it in December. They shot up as well. Now, this is more of a 2023 profit thing, not just in the last few months. 102 units from Jared Packer here using these strategies. Nolan, same thing, found DG Fantasy, and they went berserk, apparently. A really, really positive variance. Bets for all using DG Fantasy as well. DH here, up 294 units in 2023. And just to show you guys, if you're a $10 unit better, right, and you're up 294 units, what that looks like, almost $3,000 in profit just for being a $10 unit better in 2023. And even crazier, let's just say you have a huge bankroll and you are able to bet $100 a unit, right? Times 294, you guys can see right here, almost $30,000 from doing these strategies, plus EV betting and correlation betting. Absolutely insane. I can scroll through some more for you guys, but pretty nuts what people are doing just implementing these strategies. Not only do these people have in common that they are profitable sports bettors, but they actually use Daily Grind Fantasy, a website, to help them along the process, making it easy for them to find profitable bets or correlated slips along the way. And real quick, here's some other people that are seeing success using Daily Grind Fantasy and implementing these strategies as I'm going to talk about. Profit Playbook absolutely crushed Wildcard Weekend. As you guys can see, hitting multiple slips across PrizePicks and Underdog. Jacob absolutely crushing Dabble, which has been recently added to Daily Grind Fantasy's Optimizer and Correlation Tool. Big Nate Bets in January up 172 units just in January. It's only halfway there. It's the 16th of January right now as I film this video. Same thing, EV Money up $779 halfway through. Don't know what their unit size is, but either way, pretty insane that you can make a profit like this just by sports betting on these apps. It's absolutely nuts. Jay McDonald up 253 units in January. Obviously seeing some good positive variance here over the last little bit. That can definitely happen. Galen looks like up $4,000, almost or $5,000 in January. Obviously tapering off a little bit, some negative variance hitting. That's going to happen as well, guys. Trident. I wanted to talk about Trident, who is a longtime user of DGF. Absolutely crushed in November. This was halfway through November using the Optimizer and Correlation Tool at Daily Grind Fantasy to be up over $13,000 in the first 15 days of the month. These are real people, guys, that are doing these strategies. Can you plus EV bet or place correlated slips without Daily Grind Fantasy? Sure. But I'm going to show you in this video exactly why it is so clutch to have when doing these strategies. Plus EV betting, strategy number one. If you guys don't know what it means, here's the definition. Plus EV stands for positive expected value. It signifies a bet that is expected to yield a profit over the long term. A plus EV bet has a higher potential return than risk involved, making it a favorable opportunity for bettors to consider. Essentially, plus EV betting is just finding profitable bets that have an edge against the sportsbooks or apps like PrizePicks. So now that you know what plus EV betting is by definition, let me show you a much simpler way to understand it and show you a bet that is plus EV on an app like Underdog or PrizePicks. So I have up the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, as you guys can see here, and what this tool does is it scans the market for the most profitable plus EV plays to help you quickly and efficiently get them in before PrizePicks or Underdog removes them or bumps them. Now, I will leave a link below if you guys want to access the tools at Daily Grind Fantasy to help you with these strategies, but let's talk about the Aaron Fox and why it's being recommended as a high potential play to hit via the sportsbooks here on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. We can see that the tool is recommending the over of 3.5 for De'Aaron Fox on Underdog with a 55.28% chance to hit. We can see that he is set to 3.5 rebounds across all of the major sports books here on the tool. But why is this a positive expected value play here on Underdog, right? Because we see that all of the sports books have this favored to go over 3.5 at -150, -150, -135, -142, and so on, so forth, right? -146 is the average odds the sportsbooks are giving him to go over this line. We get this in a 3-pick uninsured slip on Underdog at -122 odds. So over the long term, playing a play that has odds of -146 on the sportsbooks at -122 on Underdog with a 55.28% chance to hit is going to be a profitable play. You need to be correct on your 3-leg uninsured slips, your individual legs on Underdog at a 55+% chance in order to be profitable over the long term. So therefore, we get a 55.28% chance. So over the long term, this is going to be a profitable play in the 3-man slip on Underdog. What's super clutch about the tool is it does all the math in real time on the back end. So to find the true fair odds percentage or odds percent to hit, what it has to do is it removes the juice from the sportsbooks lines, right? So it takes into consideration the overs and the unders and then removes the juice by taking out what the sportsbooks are going to make just off you placing that bet, which then in turn finds the true fair odds percentage or odds percent to hit. So as these sportsbooks lines and odds come in, this tool literally refreshes for you to be able to find these plays quickly and efficiently. Like I'm telling you, it's insane how quickly the sportsbooks update and then how slow these DFS apps are, like PrizePicks or Underdog. And you can really find profitable plays that are up on these DFS apps for, let's say, 30 seconds to 3 minutes that have been bumped or changed on the sportsbooks, whether it's their odds or the lines themselves, minutes ago. And in very simple terms, we're looking for heavily juiced plays on the sportsbooks that we get at better odds on these set payout platforms like PrizePicks, Underdog, ParlayPlay, etc. So here's another one on Underdog with a 60% chance to hit. Josh Allen is set to 8 rush attempts on Underdog, but on the sportsbooks in another DFS app being ParlayPlay, they are set higher at 8.5, 8.5, and 9 on ParlayPlay. Therefore, it seems that Underdog is off when comparing to the market, and that's exactly what this tool does, is it compares the market in one place for you to be able to find these super fast and spot these plays to get them in. It's absolutely nuts that you're getting a 60% chance to hit on this play when comparing the market, and you only need to be right 55+% of the time in those 3-pick uninsured plays on Underdog. So take into consideration this, right? If I told you we were going to flip a coin, but heads had a 60% chance to hit and tails had a 40% chance to hit, you got to pick your side of the coin. You're obviously going to choose heads, right? If you were guaranteed that something was going to hit 60+% of the time, you would obviously choose heads. But let's say I went on a run, right? My 40% chance hit 10 times in a row or 15 times in a row. Over time, it's going to even out. If I started out 15 wins above you, it's going to even out, and that 60% is going to kick in. That's where we talk about positive and negative variance in sports betting or on plus EV betting in general. You're going to have bad runs, but if you're playing these plays at volume over the long term, that positive variance is going to kick in, and that 60% play is going to pay off over the long term. I kind of just mentioned it, but it is so important. Plus EV betting at volume or even correlation betting at volume is very important. You want to get off as many slips as you can that your bankroll allows, whether it's getting in these plus EV plays or entering correlation slips off the correlation tool. And we'll talk about correlation now. Remember when I said plus EV betting is basically just finding an edge against the sportsbook, or in this case, PrizePicks, Underdog, right? That's exactly what it is on the optimizer, where it shows you guys the most profitable plays with an edge against those apps. Same thing here with correlation betting. This is one of the biggest edges in DFS right now. You guys are currently looking at the Daily Grind Fantasy Correlation Tool, and since its launch on 8/18, it is up 742.3 units. If you don't know what positive correlation is, think about this. If X happens, Y and Z are also likely to happen, and that will make a lot more sense when I show you a slip here in just a second. But what our tool does is it scans the market for the most positively correlated bets and puts them into full slips for you to tail. It's literally that simple. Let's reveal a slip and talk about the positive correlation in this slip. Houston versus Baltimore. So essentially what you would do if you had this tool, you would reveal the slip, plug it, play it, set it, forget it. It's literally that easy when playing these tools, but you just have to play them at volume. So right now we have 9 slips. You want to be getting in as many slips as you can. But positive correlation in this slip. Let's talk about the Texan side of things. CJ Stroud over 245 pass yards. If CJ Stroud is going over 245 pass yards, it's likely 2 of his top targets. Dalton Schultz is going to go over 36.5 receiving yards, and Nico Collins is going to go over 79 receiving yards, right? Because if he is passing the ball that much, it's probably benefiting his top 2 targets in Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. On the flip side, in the same game, many different ways you can get this kind of game script, but Lamar Jackson over 225 pass yards. If he's going over those pass yards, likely Zay Flowers and Odell Beckham are going over their receiving totals, whether it be receptions or yards. Whatever is the most correlated is what's going to pop up here on this tool. We've seen correlation slips be pass attempts, pass completions, pass touchdowns, receptions, receiving yards, pass plus receiving yards, field goals, many different ways, but it's only going to show you on this tool the most correlated slip for that game at that time, given the props that are up on the board on whatever app you're looking for. So the correlation in this slip is pretty simple and easy to understand, and that's awesome that we even get to play this slip on apps like Dabble, PrizePicks, or Underdog, but the real edge is in the payouts. So there are certain restrictions on some of these apps, but these correlated combos, for the most part, we can find 25x payout still on PrizePicks, which is absolutely insane. $100 would win you $2,500, and 5 of 6 still gets you 2x, so profitable. And then, of course, 4 of 6, you get 0.4 your money back, so a few bucks back. That's the normal payout on PrizePicks. They're not docking you anything for having these positively correlated plays in a slip together, like maybe a same game parlay on FanDuel or DraftKings would, and I'll show you. So back to this slip on Dabble. As you guys can see here, I revealed the slip and I entered it. Now I have a screenshot because it is only on mobile, but I entered the exact same slip for $100, let's say, and it's a $3,500 payout. If we entered this same slip on FanDuel in a same game parlay, we are getting just under $2,000. Literally $1,500 difference in payout for going 6 of 6. I can't get over how crazy that is over the long term, playing this on Dabble as opposed to playing it on FanDuel. You're getting ripped off if you're playing on FanDuel. You should not be doing that. Guys, please play this on a set payout platform where you are not getting docked for a payout. FanDuel is docking the payout because they know that these plays are heavily correlated and that when they are played together, there's a higher % chance that they hit when played together. Understand that. All the people in the beginning of this video that I showed you guys are finding success by doing exactly what I just showed you, right? Playing these plays, these plus EV plays at volume, playing these correlated slips at volume, but they're also managing their bankroll. They're not throwing down crazy amounts of money per slip or per 6-leg parlay, etc., right? They're probably sticking to a 1% rule, right? Never more than 1% of your bankroll on each play or slip is kind of the general rule of thumb that you should be sticking to, and I highly suggest it. If you guys do this and you run into a negative variance streak where you lose 5 days in a row, please don't give up, right? Because at volume and over the long term, it's going to correct itself. Positive variance will strike again, and you guys are going to be profitable using these strategies. Remember, if you want access to Daily Grind Fantasy, I left a link in the description below, but that is going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys implement these strategies and you start benefiting and being a profitable sports bettor in 2024. Peace out. Let's cash.